Hey, what is up, guys? Nick 2025 here, back with another Epic Gamer video as always. Now, there's going to be no intro for this video. It's just going to be some Call of Duty Cold War Zombies gameplay. Yes, I got Cold War. Merry late Christmas. Now, today I wanted to discuss, and the reason why there's no intro is because I don't know how long this is going to be, but today we're going to discuss 2020. What happened in 2020? We are just going to be basically giving a year review, which I've never done before, but maybe this could be a yearly thing starting now. 2020, what can I say in 2020? Like, what's the one word? Disastrous, to say the least. I'll just say that in one word. 2020 was definitely disastrous, and it sucks talking about it, but this will basically sum up the things why I never uploaded throughout the entire year and why I just didn't want to. So during 2020, we had a lot of things happen, and basically the main reason I hadn't uploaded is because 2020 was so bad that I was like, you know what, I can't upload. I really can't upload this year if it's really that bad. And you'd think that that would give me an opportunity to get more time for recording, being to stay indoors and everything, think about, you know, what I wanted to do, so many stuff coming up, so many events. Example, Call of Duty Cold War, Spider-Man. I can record all these videos, but I just chose not to. But that was because 2020 was such a horrible year. And it never gave me an advantage, it gave me a disadvantage because I didn't want to upload during a time where people are going through great loss, and 2020 was just not good. So 2021 will definitely be something I'm going to try to upload more, which I am going to be uploading on the 15th for my Twist of News 3. Yeah, we're on year 3. 2018 was 3 years ago, which is hard to think about. So, I think that's when I started it, or no, it was 2019, but, you know, we did 2019, and then 2020, so this is the 3rd year. So, happy Twister News. But let's go over 2020 from the beginning, January. Okay, January was going to be my moment, you know, it was going to be 2020, I was going to be like, I'm going to upload a lot, because 2020 is going to be the start of a new decade, so the start of me preparing so many new upload schedules and everything, but things got a little offhand. But let's just go over them. So if you remember my Twisted News video 2, I did discuss what was going on through the past few weeks, from November to December. Wait, no, yeah, November through December, and then January I uploaded the video. So basically, to sum up things, it was all right at the time. You know, 2019 was just ending. 2019 was a weird year. It wasn't the worst, of course, but I would figure that out soon, that 2020 would be. And things were going okay. I had a girlfriend. I was doing good. I knew what I wanted to upload. I was being fairly happy at the time. But you know, January went through, February came along, and on Valentine's Day, I took her out on a date. We went to go see the Sonic movie, of course, typical. Both like Sonic, so I was like, you know what, this should be a Valentine's Day. So we did. We watched Sonic on Valentine's Day, I believe. I don't know if it was exactly Valentine's Day or the day before or after, but I think it was Valentine's Day. That's when we did it. So we had a fun time, but about a couple weeks later, about 2 maybe, I broke up with her. Yeah, sorry if that got a little offhand. I wasn't expecting anything to happen, but I just got a phone call. So, here we are continuing it. But yes, I broke up with her like 2 weeks later. It was very sad. And I think from there is when things started to go a little downhill. Because just like a week after I broke up with her, things started going downhill in the world. Something was going around, and I don't want to say it in the video. I don't think I'm allowed to say it in the video. I'm not sure how that works with YouTube right now. But let's just say a global pandemic started around the world, and you'll probably know the name. I'm sure people will know the name for decades and decades to come, even centuries, to be honest. But a global pandemic went around the world, and everybody got locked inside, basically, starting the whole meme of, you know, get as much toilet paper as you can. Everybody's fighting for toilet paper. All these Karens are coming out saying blah, blah, blah. At the time, we never needed to wear a mask, if you knew, because it was like early February, like late February into March and April. So during that time is when the pandemic started around the world. It definitely did start before, but it wasn't spreading as much as we thought. So then when it started spreading more and it got to the US, people were starting to be worried. Now, was I worried at first? Yes, but I learned from friends and news lines and everything that it was nothing more than just a common cold. And unless you were unhealthy in your life or you were like I think above 60 years old, I'm not sure, I can't remember, it's been a little bit, then you would actually get harmed. But if you were young like me, which at the time 15, almost 16, February 24th, don't forget, which, like I said, at the time, uh, you know, I didn't have it, and I never had it throughout the entire 2020. I never got tested, but I knew for a fact that I didn't have it, because the only time I was really sick was some stomach aches that I had, and maybe I was just like, just not feeling well at all, just throwing up, blah, blah, blah. That's like the only time I was really sick throughout 2020. I wasn't sick a whole lot during 2020 because I stayed indoors, and of course, like the typical gamer I am, I would stay indoors anyway. But since I had a reason to, at the time, my school wasn't going well, so as you could tell, things weren't going well in the world, not only for everybody else, but for me. Schoolwork wasn't going well. I was not passing my grade until a final test came up towards the end of the year, which was close to the beginning of summer, about. I did really good, and I surprisingly passed, and I was really happy and thankful, and I made it to ninth grade. So I decided to do homeschool again, but this time actually focus and not get distracted, not have these bad grades. So far I've done really good with that, but as of recently not, because I'm just not good with some of the new stuff that I'm learning. So, but this isn't going to talk about me, this is talk about 2020, but I guess this technically leans into 2020 because of what happened. So, basically summer starts, and boy was it a weird one. It was probably the worst summer I've ever experienced, and I've had some summers that were really good, some a little bad. I think my favorite summer, to be honest, in the past 10 years, from 2010 to 2020, would have to be 2017. 2017 was just my favorite year. A lot of things released. Spider-Man, I think a couple other movies. I was just really happy. Zombies Chronicles had released. I had just got it, and I was just really happy at the time. Nothing was going wrong. Everything was fine. I had the best summer, I think, in my life. So when 2020 summer came along, I thought maybe things would get better, and by now, it's been a few months that the vaccine would be made. I thought it was just going to be one of those things where it's like a common cold, gets solved in no time. And boy, was I wrong, along with the rest of the world. Because that global pandemic kept going, and we didn't get that much information. All that we knew was that they were working out a vaccine, and then we had to start wearing masks in public. And I was like, wow, this is really getting serious. I'm still not worried. I wasn't worried at all, but it's starting to get really serious, and I'm worried for others too. So, things were a little dry 2020. Things weren't, I wasn't that happy, but I was happy because we got to do a lot of things over the summer, and a lot of things happened. So, the end of season 2 came along for Fortnite. Wow, it was a long season, I'll tell you that much. Season 3 came out, and that was around the time that I also went on a field trip to, with my family, and my brother's girlfriend and everything. And all that, blah, blah, blah. We went to a purgatory tour or something. I think I can't remember where it's at, but if I could remember, I would let you guys know to go visit yourself. All I know is somewhere in Ohio, okay? So basically, we went to visit that, and it was really fun. We had a fun time, fun couple of hours, very scary, and I loved it so much, and I loved the idea of going because it reminded me so much of Alcatraz from Black Ops 2, of course, and I was like, oh man, that's one of my favorites, and I've been so interested in Alcatraz, even without zombies. I've loved the history behind it, the spookiness of it being haunted, people trying to escape. And then Mob of the Dead came along, and it just changed my whole perspective on everything. So games can really change what you think about real life, because they can impact it. So, Mom, if you're watching this at 9 minutes and 40-something seconds, then you'll understand that games do change people's lives, and you could tell Luke that, okay? Anyway, what else happened? So yeah, summer rolled along, and I made a couple friends through Fortnite, which Fortnite and any other game that you were online with was probably the perfect time to start connecting with old friends who you haven't talked to in a while, or maybe you wanted to make some new ones through online and started talking. So I met these two people through Logan, if you remember him. Logan 2025 is what we call him, but he's doesn't do YouTube like me. So, bummer. But we're still really good friends. We still talk a lot. We still play the game like all the time. Play a lot of Cold War now. Still a lot of Fortnite. But now that we're getting older, it's like, man, there's so much stuff going on. So anyway, I met through Logan these two girls named Brooklyn and Taryn. So the thing was that I didn't mention was there were these two girls before those two girls, right? Maybe Nick giving some ladies, huh? Their names were Chloe and Kennedy. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail, but let's say we had a big, massive argument by thinking that I was being manipulative, and I don't like talking about this because it just ruined like friendships, and friendships definitely were ruined for me over summer. You can even ask my mom how many times I would come and bawling my eyes out talking to her about what's been going on in my life, and I would be really sad because my friends had been leaving and I didn't have many people to talk to. So Chloe and Kennedy basically said I was manipulative. It turned into a big fight. They wanted me to admit it, but I knew I was in the right the whole time. And then they basically like blackmailed me, I think, in a way. So that wasn't good, and I could have just reported them to the authorities, to be honest, for what they did, which I don't think I'm allowed to say on YouTube. So that's the thing. But for the people who understand that I've told, if they're watching this video, they understand that what I'm talking about and what I'm going through. But about a month later, two other girls, like I said, named Brooklyn and Taryn, so big coincidence how it's just two other girls. And sort of the same story happened, but it was different. So you can imagine this is pretty funny. But we started becoming friends, and eventually, like 2 weeks later or something, 3 weeks, I don't know, maybe a month, Logan and that girl Taryn started dating, blah, 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 and then they broke up like another month later. So it was a little weird over the summer how things were going. At the time, I was still single, so yeah, it's ain't really like a big discussion, but it is a part of 2020, and I want to talk about them because of what they've done. So, Brooklyn and Taryn, they were really good friends. I started being, like attached to them like I was with Chloe and Kennedy because they were really good friends and they really understood what I was going through, so they helped a lot. And at that time, we became really good friends, but then things started going downhill towards the end of summer into Fortnite Season 3, blah, blah, blah. And around this time, or maybe like a couple months later, is when Cold War started getting revealed. I think it was in October or the month before that. I honestly don't remember. I'm not going to lie. But Brooklyn and Taryn, we kind of got into, towards the end of summer, things were going on, and I don't want to get into it just in case one of them is watching the video, and I don't want to just freely talk about it without their permission and consent, which I should have done before the video and told them I would be talking about them, but I'll tell them after I'm done with recording and probably uploading the video, just so they know if they're going to watch it. So basically, stuff happened, and we stopped being friends for like 2 weeks because it wasn't that big of a deal, but it's like the same thing that happened, except I wasn't being manipulative at all, and that's not what they were blaming me for. So you could tell that a lot of stuff was going on, and it seemed kind of funny that a month after Chloe and Kennedy, those two girls, I would meet two new girls who would also happen to stop being friends with me in that same time span, basically. But like I said, 2 weeks later, we basically became friends. And then like a month and a half later, I want to say maybe two. Once again, sorry for the delay. A lot of things are going on in my house right now. But I want to say like 2 months later, something has happened. And yeah, sorry if the gameplay, or not the gameplay, but like sorry if things are being a little scuffed right now. I just want to get through this video as fast as possible so I can actually start uploading more. So that's why I'm trying to talk fast and get through this whole thing. But this video is 38 minutes long, or at least this gameplay, so hopefully I can shorten this down as much as possible. So yeah, I want to say about like 2 months later, we stopped becoming friends again because of another reason, which I don't want to go into again because I don't want to. I want to keep it secret, but I just want to let you know that something else happened. Then we stopped being friends for like at least another month, so longer than before. And one of them approached me, or no, it was me and Logan playing Fortnite, and Logan was still friends with them at the time. So you can imagine how how the struggle was when they wanted to play Fortnite with him, and I wanted to as well. Now, luckily, being best friends, he basically played with me more than them because, we were best friends. So of course, it made sense if you understand. If you had an issue like that, you would understand what I mean. So it was a little difficult, but then one of them, through Logan, said to unblock so then she can apologize, and that was Brooklyn. Brooklyn came out at first, and she apologized because she realized that she shouldn't have gotten involved because it was just a me and Taryn situation at the time. But Brooklyn got involved because they're cousins, and that's why they're close. Of course, that's why I met both of them because they were cousins or something. So yeah, I should have mentioned that earlier too. But it was Brooklyn who apologized first, and it was awkward because, of course, we realized what happened before, so we just didn't want to happen. We didn't want it happening again. Since then, though, we've been fine, and then a little over a couple days, I don't think even a week, Taryn joined our lobby one time. And it was me, Logan, Brooklyn, and Taryn. Now, that was our squad the whole time, but since the things had happened and only Brooklyn had apologized, it was like weird because I muted her like the whole time and didn't talk. So you can imagine how weird it was and awkward when I was in that lobby with them. Yeah. So when we did talk and we did apologize to each other, because I admit that I did stuff wrong, and I admitted to it. It took her a minute to. It took her a little bit to say something, but she did say she did apologize. But we knew that we were both in the wrong at the time. Nobody did more things wrong than the other, so I can admit when I'm wrong, and I did do that wrong. But yeah, that was basically the whole thing of that. And now around this time, things started getting closer to the end of 2020, so thankfully. But the pandemic started getting worse as millions and millions started getting, corrupted by the population. By corrupted, I mean the pandemic that I don't want to say because of YouTube's guidelines. But it kept going more and more. Millions and millions each day were just, getting it spread throughout the world, and we had to wear masks everywhere, not just in stores and everything, but like everywhere. So you'd see people walking out, and not even walking out at all, just staying in their cars sometimes, just getting. They had masks on, it's weird. It was a weird time, and it felt like something was actually going on, and it was. This is going to be a history thing that will be in the books later on in the future, like what we have now with, like, example 9/11 or stuff with World War I and II. All those things have just been lining up to be the worst years, and 2020 just so happened to be one of them. And a lot of deaths happened, a lot of famous people died. One of the most saddest ones, in my opinion, to me personally, was probably Chadwick Boseman. And I really have much respect for him and his family because, if you didn't know, Chadwick Boseman, if I'm even saying his last name right, hopefully, he played the Black Panther. And you can imagine how many people loved Black Panther for how much, Disney did well at doing not only the movie, but just his character in general, basically making Black history more well known to not just, stuff. You get the point. I don't want to be racist or anything, but you know what I'm talking about, and I support everything, which, by the way, at this time, Black Lives Matter was also going on because of something that happened with police and this person named George Floyd. A lot of stuff was going on, and you'll probably know what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to go into detail on that. But Chadwick Boseman died of cancer, so I was really sad. I was just playing games that night, and this was at the time that Fortnite had just released Season 4, and if you didn't know, Season 4 was all about Marvel superheroes, and it was like, That's not good. So Marvel and Fortnite teamed up to create a whole season dedicated to Marvel, which I love, but a lot of people hated. So they're like, okay, they have to add Black Panther now, especially since in the game before he died, like a day before he died or something, Black Panther's statue was added to the game. There was a monument from the movie, and it was like the giant Black Panther that was on a mountain cliff or whatever. And it was wow. So everybody, you don't understand how many people went to that spot. A lot of people went to that spot, and sorry if things keep cutting off. Like I said, a lot of things are going on. I don't know why. Things are just ruining my recording. I've never had this happen before. Not gonna lie, but a lot of people went there the day after. Even I went there. I had the crying emote, and I was just so sad, and it was heartbreaking during this time. And Black Lives Matter was going on, the movement again, which if you remember from either 2016 or 2017, they had another Black Lives Matter thing because a bunch of things were happening. But this time it was worse. A lot of shootings were going on, a lot of robberies, break-ins, everything. Raiding, I think it was called, was going on too. So you can imagine how much things were going on this year in 2020. 2020 was just not a good year, honestly. And also, it seems like I'm going to cry or anything. It's not. I'm just trying to talk really fast, so I'm shortness of breath. No, I don't have it. I swear. Okay. But yeah, a lot of things were going on around this time. Black Panther just died, basically, and he got the most liked tweet. Whoever tweeted out, maybe his managers or his family, tweeted out about his death, what's been going on, and he's been trying to hide it when he died of some type of cancer. It has the most likes on Twitter right now, which shouldn't be important, but it is very important because that's how you know that millions of people still care about him. They all care about him. A lot of people, millions, or even a couple billion, cared about him because they love Black Panther and what he was doing to the community to spread throughout the world positivity and cheer, not only to just adults and everybody, kids too. Kids understood this, which should have been established to them already, but now that they understood everything that was going on right then and there, it just made a lot more sense together. So you can imagine what was just, yeah. Flash forward a little bit. This was, I think, October or something. I think it was on October 31st. If not, then it was some other time. It was around Halloween. My dog, Miley, she actually had babies, and I was like, oh my god, this is happening. This is really happening. She is pregnant. We suspected something when her stomach started getting big, and now she is like a pug mix or something. So you can imagine how big she was right then, because pugs are fat. But she, on the other hand, was getting like really tensed, and her stomach was just huge. And then my mom suspected something when we felt something moving in her stomach. When we kept feeling around, and we were like, she's either having babies or just some bad gas. But one morning, we were like, we got to keep an eye on her. That literally the next morning, my mom said, we got to keep an eye on her just in case something happens. I woke up, my back was wet, and I was so confused. I'm like, did she pee in my bed or something? Because she likes to sleep with me. And it wasn't pee, but it was a puppy. A puppy was just laying there in my bed, and I was like, oh my god, this is really happening. I was like gonna burst down in tears. I didn't know what was going on. Now, my mom drives a school bus, so she was already out at work trying to get people to school in the morning. So it was me and my little brother, because we have homeschool, of course, and we were like, we didn't know what to do. So I tried calling my mom several times. She didn't pick up. And all I knew was that I had to take care of the little puppy. He just kept rolling around and all that. And it was really cute. Then we got her into a box. We cut out a little hole in a box. Put some blankets in there. And then she started having more. She had 5 babies. And they were so cute. But they were still a little weird. Because I've never understood childbirth for both humans and dogs. So it was weird seeing my dog, the one that I love, who stays with me every time I go somewhere, who moves along with me, kind of like a Pokemon. It was weird just seeing her give birth, or puppy birth, and it was like, oh my god, this is really happening. She is now a mother, and it was nice. We had 5 puppies. Sadly, we had to sell them around Christmas, and now it's like, to me, I was like, man, that's a good time, because people who will get them will be like, oh, we get a puppy on Christmas. It's going to be a Christmas miracle. But at the same time, for me, it was really hard because I got attached to all those puppies. And my mom said not to get attached. But we kept one. We sold 4. We kept one. Her name is Angel. She looks just like the mother, which is Miley, who had the baby. Or babies. So basically what happened was, we sold them, and for me it was hard because everybody got a Christmas miracle about getting a puppy, but for me, we lost the puppies because they got sold. So we kept one. And I really got attached to this one puppy named Angel. Well, not Angel. God dang it. Sorry. Ace. And Ace was a name that the owner had already given to him, and they would pick him up on Christmas or Christmas Eve. And sadly, it was supposed to be Christmas. They said on Christmas, well, whatever. At first it was Christmas Eve, and then Christmas because they were busy or something, and then they picked him up on Christmas Eve just out of the blue, and it was like really sad because he was a little stinker. So he was the firstborn. He was the smartest one. He was also the dumbest one, of course, but you can expect that from little puppies. They don't know that much. But his name was Ace, and I fell in love with him. I started crying for all the puppies, of course, because I'm going to miss them. But luckily, down the street, there's this old lady who bought 2, so now that 2 of them are just down the road, but the 2 others are with other families around where I live. So yeah, it was really sad, and I cried the most for Ace because he was the firstborn. So when he was born in my bed, I didn't realize that in months to come, like 2 months later, that he'd just be sold right there off the bat, and I was gonna miss him to death. I knew I was going to cry. I told myself I'm probably going to cry when we sell him, but I haven't cried like that in at least a few decent months. When I had depression and stuff, and things were still going on, I hadn't cried like that, and I was like, oh my god, I'm really gonna miss him. So yeah, we still get videos every once in a while. My mom still shows me videos every once in a while from the owner, who has Ace and all the other puppies. So it's still somewhat decent, but I'm really gonna miss them, and I hope I can visit them soon. So yeah. But flash forward a little bit, of course. Me and Taryn and Brooklyn, we're getting closer than ever. We were being good friends. We'd only been friends for months, and sure, we were off and on twice, but you get the point. We were good friends. Things were going well, and I'm still friends with them right now, and I continue to stay friends because they are really good at making me feel good and happy, and they're just really good friends overall. So I thank them, if they're this far in the video, I thank them for being there in my life, along with many others like Logan and some other people. So I'm pretty happy about what's been happening as of recently because I've been helping make 2020 a whole lot better, along with my mom. She's been there for since I was born, so you can you get the point. She's always probably going to be there unless, something were to happen, which I really hope doesn't. So, love you, Mom, if you're this far in the video. And I'll probably say, hey, Mom, look at this timestamp or something if you're going to watch the video, so then you could see what's, so she can hear me say it. So, yeah, but things in school are getting better. 2021 has arrived, and I've been doing pretty okay. Overall, 2020 was not a good year at all. If I had to give it a rating, it would be a negative 100 out of 10. And I know that's being biased, and I'm sure everyone would, but if I'm giving an honest opinion, and like a fully honest opinion, it would be negative 100. But I'd say I didn't go past a bit before the negatives, and I just did 1 out of 10, right? Like 0 through 10, or 1 through 10. I think I would give 2020 for like a review if I were to like rate it like that. I honestly would give it a 4, and 4 is a little bit high for the most crappiest year, I think. But you gotta think that we did have some good things, or hopefully you guys had some good things, because I know I had my good things. You could give it a different rating. You could honestly give it a 10 out of 10, which what are you doing if you give it a 10 out of 10? What have you been doing? But I honestly give it a 4 out of 10 because we had a lot of good things come out this year. We had Spider-Man Miles Morales, and we had so many announcements for both Marvel and Star Wars, which of course, if you know me, I'm a big fan of. A couple of stuff for DC. I'm a little DC fan, but not as big as my dad and my older brother. I'm more on the Marvel side than they are. So you can imagine how much much more excited I'd be for Marvel and not DC. So, um, what's it called though? So yeah, a lot of things were revealed this year, and I was pretty happy with the outcome because it was a great time for gaming and a great time for YouTubers to just actually get more views up because people were going to stay home and watch it. And sure, like I said, it would have been a great opportunity for me, but it really wasn't because I just didn't want to upload during a time where nobody's going to watch it, especially with me having such a low subscriber count. Pretty sure they're going to just watch their other YouTubers. 2021 would be a good year, and I know that the vaccine has just been getting out to people as of recently for the pandemic, so that's good. I'm so happy. That means it will be out, probably ready to go out soon. Things probably won't go back to normal, like they said, until about maybe next year, if not the year after, or maybe sometime this year. Things won't exactly go back to normal. It's going to take a bit to readjust to not having the vaccine or the pandemic anymore, which, you know, it's going to take a bit because everybody was stuck indoors this entire time, so it's like, what are we going to do now? What are we doing outside? What are we doing with all this? So it's going to take a bit to adjust, but I'm sure everybody will get through it, and it'll be okay. But 2021, I really hope it's a good year. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, from my entire heart, to be honest, I really hope that 2021 will be a good year. Because if you remember what I said in my Twisted News 2 video, 2025 will be the year that I just start uploading like crazy. At that time, I will be 20 years old. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit. But I will be 20 years old. I'm turning 16 this year, so I'm getting into that age where, you know, my body starts to evolve. You know, those typical things. But, you know, I really hope that 2021 will be good. 2022, 23, 24, and then 25. I really hope all those years will be good. If we have a couple misfires on the years, it's okay. I just don't think that during these next 10 years till 2030, it'll be as bad as what we had in 2020. That was not a good way to start off the year, to be honest, with all this stuff going on. Some of you might have had it worse. Some of your family members might have had the disease, and I'm so sorry for anyone who did. And if you were watching my videos during that time, thank you. I really appreciate you, and I really hope that you know, people who stick around during these videos, I really hope that you enjoy them, because I really don't want to go anywhere. I just want to evolve and try to get this YouTube channel up where some of the bigger ones are. I don't want to be greedy or needy. I just want to be a good person, make content for people for years and years to come until I get my own family and they do what they want to do. Whether that be, basically like make their own YouTube channel, do what they want to do. I want to try to make what's best for them, and hopefully I'll find that someone soon. But as a teenager, of course, it's gonna be a while, and I shouldn't even have to worry about that. So it is what it is, as Logan always said to me. So yeah, I really hope that you guys are staying safe though, and I hope you stayed safe during 2020, because like I said, I knew it was a rough year, and I hope you guys are all staying safe. I hope you guys really enjoy what other people are doing. You know, if I could be up in the level, I would be caring for everyone so much. Like, I want to be like Mr. Beast. I want to be a good person, but I mean, of course, I don't have the type of money that he does. But Mr. Beast, if you ever come across this video looking for small channels, I really appreciate what you've done this year, because you made 2020 also, you know, enjoyable in a way. A lot of things that you've done for people. He's like my inspiration, along with some other YouTubers like Wildcat, Vanoss. Those people who inspire me to do YouTube are just some of the greatest I've known for quite some time now. I've known Vanoss and Wildcat, like they're seen their channels and done all this for years now. Mr. Beast as of recently, because he's only been famous in the past couple years. So yeah, you see what I mean. But I just really wanted to help the world out, and if I could, I would. But right now, I'm a low YouTube channel who's just really trying to get the subscribers up so I can start making some money and eventually get people to be happy, stay safe. And of course, job for me, I'm going to have to get eventually. But until then, though, I think, I'm just going to start slow and go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this mini commentary. I know this is a long video, but you can understand why. Honestly, I thought this was going to be longer, so that's why I just recorded some zombies gameplay for you. And I'm going to try to push out as many videos as I can this year, but school is coming along, school is being there for me, and I got a lot of stuff on my mind. So I just wanted to talk openly about 2020 because I know that 2020 was probably the worst year of everyone's lives, to be honest. So I hope everyone's doing good. I hope everyone's staying safe, and I really enjoy what you guys do. You as a person is probably amazing, and the fact that you would come to me to watch my videos, to come to my channel and watch my videos, is just thank you so much for sticking around. I know it's only 38 people, but those 38 people make a difference, because imagine what, maybe in a couple years, if I start getting more and more subscribers, you guys will always be there and understand what I've been through the past couple years. So thanks for sticking with me, and even if you aren't watching this, thanks for sticking with me. But I guess that's it. Without further ado, I'll just let the video continue. About 2 more minutes or something, the gameplay will end for the zombies. I did longer in the game. I just ended it at a time that I felt was right, and I didn't even know this was 38 minutes. I honestly thought this was longer, like 40 or something, 50. But yeah, I wanted this to be like at least a under 20-minute discussion, but obviously 2020 can't have that. So I'm just going to let the rest of the video play. There is no outro, but I will be making another video with an intro and outro, a new one. And I'll probably do that for each Fortnite season, because I'm still playing Fortnite. But it'll be a Twist of News 3 back on Fortnite for the 3rd time. So I've been talking too long now. So I guess without further ado, I'll let the video play, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.